I'm digging this. I'm digging this. All right, what's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for DJ Live Streaming. I am Scott Smoking Silz, coming to you from Chicago, along with my man, Sean, Doc, Rock, Boyd, coming to you from Honolulu, Hawaii, playing all the finest jams right here. There you go. This is soulful, man. I'm digging this. Anyway, it's great to see you guys again. Last week, we kind of pulled out on you guys. Doc had something come up, but it's all good. We're going to continue doing what we do. You know, we renegotiated his contract. We upped him. He gets a bag of M&Ms every week now, and he's good to play. So, you know, we're glad you're here joining us, and we're looking forward to having a great 2021, as I know everybody else is. So today is Festivus for the rest of us. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. How you doing, Doc? What's going on?
Good. Yeah, it's just been an extremely long week. It's been very, very busy, and I'm not going to argue with that because that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been good. Yeah, you know,
okay.
keeping itself busy. Hey, what's up, Alex? Good to see you here, brother.
You know, Doc is a busy guy, man. For those of you who don't know, you know, he's doing a lot of stuff for a lot of the different shows out there with Ecamm and some of the other communities. So his streaming game has just taken off, like all of us who have been doing this now for a number of months. And I'm very proud of him and very excited for him. But we're definitely committed to this. So I'm glad you guys could join us today. We missed you last week. And, you know, we got lots to catch up on. And, you know, we're here. So, you know, put your questions in if there's something you want to talk about or you got a topic you want to discuss. We'd be happy to answer some questions today. Otherwise, you know, one of the big things that happened over the past week is the talk about, you know, what could happen to us DJs that play music on social media with copyright violation. They are talking about making this a jailable offense, guys, that you could do 10 years in jail for playing music on Facebook or on YouTube or any of these other sources that we use like Twitch and all the others. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible. Like with what's going on right now in the world, and we're faced with the possibility of not being able to do what we do and entertain people. It's really incredible. I don't know. Doc, have you looked into this at all? And what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So no one's going to be happy about no one's going to be happy about my thoughts, but yeah, I like it.
You like it?
100%. Because you know that you're doing it wrong in the first place, but then everybody wants to be the victim when they do it. And nobody wants to hear that, but that's the honest to God truth. You know you are wrong. You know you are not properly licensed. You know you're not ASCAP, BMI, any of that stuff. You know you don't have it. So you are putting the other people's business in jeopardy. And yes, I get it. They are the hugest company in the world. And yes, they got all the money in the world, but that doesn't give you the right to put their business in jeopardy. So they always have to get sued by Arista because you want to play Arista song because you just feel like being selfish. Like it's the rules, man. It's the rules. Like if you want to play all old school uncopyrighted music, boom. If you're really that good as you say you are, you can go to Epidemic Sound and download 5 hours playlist and turn that into just as good a mix as anything else.
Yeah.
Because you know what else
you
sounds...
and I both know, we both subscribe. You're not going to find the caliber of music. You're not going to find hits. You're not going to find...
You just did it. You literally just watched me play.
I watched you play. I mean, look, I can hit something that sounds good too over here.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it could be done, but also, if you really about that life, then all of the guys nowadays call themselves producer, then producer has 5 hours worth of music and then go do it. But
now, do you realize how rich you would be if you produced 5 hours of hit music? I don't know if the Beatles ever even produced 5 hours of hit music. They might have produced an hour of hit music.
Grateful Dead.
You know, if you produce an hour of hit music, you're going to be a multi-millionaire.
Exactly.
Think about.
So then you wouldn't be worried about making chump change streaming on Facebook. I'm just saying, like, you can give all the arguments. What you're doing, it's like, okay, what you're doing is illegal. And half the people that say that crap will be like, well, the dude that got busted and is now doing 10 years for 2 joints. Well, he knew those 2 joints was illegal. He shouldn't have had them 2 joints. So pick your choice, dude. Pick your choice.
Well,
What, you can
I
break
just
the
feel
law,
like
but the
I
dude with the
just
2
feel
joints
like
can't?
no, I feel like they should come up with some sort of licensing agreement.
Yeah,
and
they
I
should.
think
But
I think
then that's the fight.
95% of the DJs out there would agree with me on that, if not
No,
more.
100%. They should.
And I
but they
just don't
haven't.
feel like it's right that they can't work something out and give people the opportunity.
Why?
I mean, everybody's
Why do I got to
like
give you the
Napster.
opportunity to
They
pee
had
on
the
my carpet?
opportunity to make a fortune with Napster, and they blew that. And they now realize that.
What they?
But
I hate the word they.
the record labels. The record labels.
Well, yeah, that's the
record
labels.
labels could have made a lot of money. But
okay, but see,
you know,
you make like there's no actually working streaming service, and there is. It's $15 a
there
month.
are working. There are. I subscribe to it,
So
but
do I.
again, you know, there's streaming services like Spotify and like Tidal, and I can go down the list, but you can't play the music from them either. You know, it's crazy.
That's not
I
what
wish they
That's
would
not
come
what
up with.
I mean, Mixcloud.
I know.
If you sponsor, if you're on Mixcloud, you can see. No, see, here's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to stream on Facebook. Why? What's the answer to why you want to stream on
Because
Facebook?
there's traffic there. There's
Yeah.
people, and
So
you have
what you're
a
saying
community.
is, if you
So you
own the
gotta
real
build
estate
your own.
for
I
the,
get that.
if you own the
I
real
get
estate
it.
for the mall, right? Do you want people to just come in the parking lot and build any damn thing they wish in the parking lot?
No, of course not.
Exactly.
And I get
so
it.
you streaming on Facebook,
but as the
Facebook
mall
owns the
owner,
mall. You streaming on
if you would
Facebook is the
pay
same
me,
thing as open
if you
up a
would
crack
pay
shop
for
in the
the
parking lot.
outlot, if you
What?
would pay for the outlot, I would welcome you coming over there and
But you're not
building
paying for it.
basically what you want. We're willing to pay for it. The
Yeah,
DJs, I
but-
think, are willing to pay for that license.
I know that somebody's right now would be willing
Give us
to
that opportunity
No,
so that
listen.
we can at least find out if they will or if they won't.
Why do they have to give you an opportunity? I don't understand this. Make an
Well, I
opportunity.
think if I was the mall owner and I had the outlot and you wanted to build there, I would charge you a fee for it. And that I would welcome because I was going to make money off of that. And
Okay,
I
so
got to
you
think,
don't think right
that the
now-
record labels would want to make the money off the DJs too. Why not? There's a lot of money to be made. Everybody's a DJ according to Apple, right? I mean, it's that simple. So give
You
them the
don't think
opportunity
that
to buy that
Facebook has a
license.
team of lawyers right now already looking into this?
I don't know what Facebook has. Okay.
I will put money on. They have a team of lawyers looking into it, but it takes time. Mixcloud is there. They don't believe Mixcloud is right. So what everybody wants to do is sit there and wait for Mixcloud to get effed. If Mixcloud can carry,
is still, you know, it's an option. It's absolutely an option. It just
so the point
needs
I'm
to develop,
making,
needs some time.
the point I'm making is if Mixcloud gets through this 3 years without a hassle, then you'll be able to do this on YouTube and Facebook. They're not going to take the header for anybody because they have more to lose. When you're the small guys like Mixcloud, you can take the header because
Right.
you can't get sued for billions. You can only get
Exactly.
sued for what you got. So
Right.
everybody is sitting back like Michael Gumbartner, let him jump out of the plane with the Red Bull suit and prove that it works. And now that he proved it, there's a whole bunch of dudes jumping out of planes in the Red Bull suit flying like a squirrel. But you needed one idiot to do it first. The brothers at Mixcloud are doing it first. And they haven't even surpassed a year yet, and they're still jumping through some hurdles. But the only
Yeah.
reason why everybody is pissed, and you gotta look yourself in the man in the mirror, Michael Jackson. The only reason why you pissed is because
Can't do it on Facebook.
if your Johnson was so big that you could just pull it out and a bunch of people would show up on your stream, then you don't care about Facebook. You would stream anywhere, right? You would stream on your own website because you could bring the milkshake to the yard. But all of the guys that are complaining, victim-splaining, is, well, you stopping me from, no, Facebook isn't stopping you from making money. That's not their kuleana. Sorry, I got to translate. It's not their position to help
English,
you make
please.
money. Their position is to help you stay connected with friends from high school. That's their business model. Their business model isn't replicant nightclub, right? So if you go and build, hey, Facebook, you suck.com, and invite all the DJs to come and spin on your own platform, let them stream on your platform. Every person who's doing it can put a poster on Facebook to say, I'm streaming on Scott Silz, FacebookSucks.com. But within 10 minutes of the third stream, all the lawyers in all of the record labels will converge on you and you'll be going to jail. So you want them to let you do it, but you don't want to take the backlash for doing something illegal. Before we get into anything else, it's illegal.
You know, I missed you for a week, Sean.
I'm a fact spitter, dude. I don't like victims. Honestly,
I missed you for
if
a
you're
week.
an actual victim, I will pick you up. I'm a medic. I have no choice. I have a hypocritical oath to fix you. But if you come in as a well-able-bodied person and you pull a victim card on me, you will catch left, right, stupid. Done. I'm sorry. I don't play that. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me that is wrong, because you know from the gate, the first time you ever made a bootleg mixtape, you knew you was doing something illegal. And no, it's not murder. It's still illegal. And I feel sorry for all the dudes in jail on 2 joints, because no, it wasn't murder, but it's over 50% of the prison population is dudes in jail on some stupid technicality over a freaking leaf. But you want to be able to steal money out of somebody else's pocket on Facebook, and I'm cool with that.
Well, now we're opening up another can of worms here, and that is, you know, we go back to, if you're a club DJ and you're being given the music to promote by the record labels, or you're working radio mix shows and they're asking you to play the music, and they're giving you that music and asking you to play it, then how does it all of a sudden become illegal when you play it?
Robert,
That's the question.
The answer to Robert's question is lots of people get served. Actually, now they're coming more after actually serving people. And yes, they are trying to scare you, but they're also actually need to take out a handful of folks just to prove that it's a thing.
Of course.
It's one of those things. It's one of those weird things. What's up, bitch? Good to see you here. And so, Miguel, I'll get to your question in just a second, Miguel. I see you right here. The thing that we've been in a position where we were playing in the club and we're doing good, and then the guy walks in and then be like, where's the owner? And I'm like, oh, he's not on the spot right now. So who's kind of the blue card right now? And I'm like, me. And they're like, well, we're going to fine you. Why? Because you guys haven't paid ASCAP, BMI, whatever. At that time, I didn't even know what that was. I was, just a dude in the box. I just had the blue card because they told me you should get a blue card, because a lot of times the owner's not here. And I almost got in trouble because that dude didn't want to pay his licenses fees. And he thought it's a small club hiding in the middle of a strip mall. No one's ever going to know that we're doing, And again, all these guys, half the club owners take shortcuts, and all the workers are the ones that get effed every time they get shut down.
Well, I've never had that happen to me. I mean, I've worked in a number of nightclubs, obviously, in a number of venues, but we've never had anybody walk in and propose you need to show the license. Now, we know it happens, and we know that most of the clubs that I work in
local bar recently
paid the licenses. They do. I mean, that's just a part of the business. But at least they're given the opportunity to get the license and pay for the license. It's based on the number of seats you have in your venue or whatever the case may be. And I mean,
well, you know what it was?
I still just wish we had a way to make this work.
Yeah, and I wish we had world peace and no gas. Everything was just ran off of Tinkerbell tears, but reality is not going to happen. And honestly, the reason Facebook and YouTube and all these guys are in no hurry to happen. The other thing is, here's the funny part. I get the passion because we think we run the world, but point blank, I asked my friend who's in the music direction, he goes, we're not really as responsible for popping off records as we think we are. And I argued with him for about an hour. I argued with him for about an hour over that. Video. At the end, he's right, but we don't want to hear that. Labels do not make what they used to make because we've created, as listeners, we've created a different industry. They don't make the money they used to make. Most of the labels, as we know it, most of them will be belly up in 5 to 10 years. So it's all going to be self-publishing, and it's crazy, but yeah, it's mostly all going to be self-publishing. Russ had kind of put the last nail in the coffin this year. Like, Russ himself literally just smashed all ideas of the original model. I don't know if you follow this dude, but he got 17 albums was denied from every label across the board. No one wants to hear what you got to play, blah, blah, blah. So he self-published like a #1 album, Grammys and all, self-published the second one, and go, oh, yeah, gang, by the way, I got 15 more albums that the record label peed on for all of these years, but here you guys can get it at a really good rate. And he just busted all kind of charts. And then this year, only this year, did he give Columbia Sony distribution rights, but on his terms.
Yep.
And now he's going around teaching everybody that methodology. So,
well, that's not anything new. I mean, that started with the mixtape generation and the records being sold out of the back of the trunk when the major labels turned down a lot of the hip hop artists. That's how so many of them got wealthy, and good for them for doing that. I mean, they took their skills and marketed themselves, and it's a big job, but risk reward situation. They risked it, they rewarded for it.
And Tommy's right, Mixcloud. That's definitely true. That's the reason why Spotify worked. When Spotify first started, they were kind of illegal, but they were able, because of the UK laws, to do some stuff. And then in the process, they got enough users to go get everything legal. But initially, Spotify, everyone here wanted to crush them.
Spotify's interesting. I'm a fan of Spotify. I like having it. But, some of the versions that come out there and some of the quality on some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff comes from some really, really weird locations. Like, you're not necessarily getting it from the label, and you're not necessarily getting it from the album that you would expect that song to have come off of. They come from a greatest hits collection that nobody's ever seen or heard of. And some of the versions are different. It's a little strange. And again, the quality's not always, like you're getting it off of iTunes. It's just the fact. But I mean, I like the service. I think the big thing for me when they pulled away from being able to be used with the DJ, the algorithm program, it kind of hurt them a little bit in my eyes. I wish that they could have maintained a license and an agreement with one another. I thought that was a good combination. And, of course, they've switched over to Tidal. Tidal's not bad. I guess I'm just not as used to it as I was with having Spotify. I was very comfortable with Spotify, just like anything else when you change what you're doing, or
the most important thing anyone can do in any of this. I just told somebody this on the other day. Actually, it's Mary. Mary's here. I told Mary this the other day. Merry Christmas, Mary. I told her, don't ever fall in love with anything in tech, because it will be gone the week after you do. So you just don't even bother. So you don't put that kind of oomph into it.
Yeah, you can't.
Miguel, to your question, if it's up to me, you will control with any controller you want to control with. I really get irritated at guys that like to try to hold other guys back because they want to tell them that their Hercules DJ2 is a toy controller. So what? When you play music out of it, do people smile on the opposite end? Yes. All right, cool.
If you can get the job done, then it works for you. The bottom line is, did you entertain the audience? And that goes back to the biggest question, like, do you play vinyl or do you play on a controller or a computer? And then, of course, do you use the sync button or do you don't use the sync button? The fact of the matter is, whatever you can do the best and you can entertain the people, they're not going to run up to the DJ booth. The people that are doing your wedding they're not coming up there to go, do you have the sync button on, or are you using a controller, or are you using vinyl? They may have hired you initially because of that. And there are people that are like, oh yeah, we'd love to have you play vinyl. That's really cool. We think that would be kind of a novelty thing at our event. We'd love to see that. And, it's just part of the ambiance and the vibe that they're going for. But you're going to know that going in. It's not like you show up and they're like, oh, dude, you brought the CDJs, you didn't bring the vinyl? Like, we can't have a party now.
It's super funny because at the end of the day, I have been to parties where they just bust out a Bluetooth speaker and press go and press random shuffle on some service. And
people can have a good time.
And people have a good time. So the people that start those kind of fights, they got other issues in their lives. So first of all, I know guys out here that are making their money doing their job using the Denon Prime 2. So yeah, it's rough. In every industry, there's the gear people that will tell you that you can't do what you do with this gear and that gear. And truth of the matter is, you can do whatever.
Well, keep in mind,
However, I will say that about the Canon M50, it's a piece of crap.
For so many years, we just didn't have any choices. As DJs, if you've been doing this for a number of years, I'm in the business now like 43 years, I think. When I started, you had a turntable. Your choice was, were you going to get the Technics 1800 turntable, or would you get a belt-driven turntable because you couldn't afford to buy the Technics 1800s? Well, the 1800s were there when I started. This is like 1977, roughly. Eventually we got the 1200, the MK2. There used to be an original 1200, folks. So for all you guys that think the 1200 is the original, it's not. The 1200 was a direct drive turntable that looked very similar to the 1800. It was more sleek and trimmed down from the 1100. The 1100 was absolutely the finest turntable for the disco era. Now, you could even change the tone arms on these. Some of them came without a tone arm on them, and you could buy a fancy tone arm for them. So if you go and you search eBay or whatever, and you look around, you may find some that have had like more of a audiophile type tone arm put on them, because the weakest thing about that turntable back in the day was the tone arm. And that was the problem when you went to the big shows and you played in the very, very large venues or a concert hall, that they just could not handle the sound volume and the pressure and everything else. The tone arms were a problem. So, that's why you found that a lot of the clubs had to hang, it was almost like a swing set. They hung chains from up top and to the floor above and brought down the turntables on like a chain system, almost like a swing, so that they could isolate and you could have this sort of thing. But remember, so we didn't have the technology and the choices. We ended up with a controller like the Torque from M Audio. That was like the first controller. I should bring mine down one day. It's like plastic. It's like the Mattel Pretend. I have it in my case. I'm not going to part with that thing. I actually liked it. It was a pretty cool piece, but it wasn't very, well made. It wasn't like a quality piece of equipment. It was a lightweight plastic thing. But it worked. It got the job done. And they finally did like a software update to it. It struggled if you had a large library. But if you didn't have a large library, it wasn't terrible. But I'll tell you what, if you were going to get on a boat, like we do these boat parties in Chicago sometimes down at Navy Pier or whatever, and you're going out on the water for a couple of hours, to load a big system in and do it quickly because you're on a time limit, it's pretty tough. Take that little controller, go to the job. You were like the first one to do that. It was kind of a novelty thing. It was cool. It was easy. It worked. It got the job done. Was it the best piece of equipment ever made? No, but that's where it all started from. And then we saw Pioneer and all these other companies down on whatever get into the controller game. But we just didn't have the abundance of equipment and choices when we started as DJs as we do today. You had a club and mixer.
And because of
maybe
that,
you got a Newmark mixer. That's it. That's all that was out
people
there.
get. We talk about this all the time, even in the standard streaming world. Is like these unnecessary brand loyalties to stuff that don't really do anything, and things change. So like tomorrow, if all of a sudden Panasonic or Canon took their head out of their fourth point of contact and started making good stuff, I'd talk about it. Right now, they make crap that everybody buys because it's popular or because it's cheap. So
Sony was a great brand for a lot of stuff for many, many years. I mean, if you go back and look at, the 80s or 90s and the Sony stuff, I mean, everything Sony made was great. I mean, look, you got the, I have them down here. I put them up on top of the shelf. But, you go back to the Walkman era. Sony was cutting edge for everything. If you bought a TV, you wanted a Sony. Well, times have changed, and Sony went through a period where their stuff wasn't as up to par as they used to be. And I think they've turned things around in a lot of ways. I think they make a lot of great products again. And I think they focus back on being, a little bit better technology-wise and the niches that they chose to go in their direction that they were good at. But, it's like everything else. I mean, we got a company called Elgato. They do a really nice job. It's kind of like an Apple for streaming. If you think about it, they have a lot of different products out. They're all pretty good quality products. Certainly useful for people that are doing streaming like we do. It's something you can look at, just like Apple has done. So again, we didn't have that
Thank you.
variety that we have now.
Thank you, Tommy. Tommy is correct. It's funny because everybody come up with these questions, and really the truth is it's about entertainment, and that's what we mean. If you can entertain them folk, nobody really care. As
Yep.
long as you got that one uncle
Right,
in the
Tommy.
polyester slacks cutting the rug and doing that little
Yeah.
weird hitch,
And you know what?
you could.
Gotta love having one of those at every party, because
Dude,
guess
every
what?
party.
You're gonna
Hey,
have somebody on the
and
dance floor, and
if
he
you
helps
don't have
keep
that
you going.
uncle at your party, you're it, Tommy, because I seen you.
Right.
I see you in your videos. Yo, what's up? Scotland in the building. He got his KZ in. He gets KZ IMs and a Sigma, and on his 5100, they're both killing. Yeah, dude. I tell you, the best thing that happened to my studio is the Sig right here. Boom, that autofocus.
Sigma lens is awesome, man. I got to tell you, I'm glad I got one of these. I'd love to have the 30 millimeter. By the way, I think I'd like to have one of those.
I want to grab the whole holy trinity. But what's funny,
but
is
you get to the bigger lenses, it gets really pricey. It's no longer the $300 or $400 lens. How much is like an 85 or a how much are those lenses? I mean, I don't even know what they offer.
The whole set is $1,200, right? If you got all three, it comes out to $1,200. If you bought it as a set, individually, it's going to come out to $1,500.
Wait. So the three lenses we're talking about the 16, the 30, and what's the other one you're going to talk about?
What was it? They actually sell it that way. Hold on.
We got the 16. They make a 30, but I thought they had some other lenses that are really expensive, prime lenses that are a little bit
they got
longer.
Some extremely expensive prime lenses, but
that are like thousands of dollars range. So
they sell their Sigma Holy Trinity as a thing. Now they have two. If in the regular versions, you have a 14 to 24, 24 to 70, and a 7200. That's the regular zoomable versions. But on the Prime, it's 16, the 35, and I think it's the 85 if I remember correctly. Yeah, I believe that's
30. 16,
no,
30.
It's the 16 to 30 and the 85. I think that's
85. How much is the 85 lens by itself? Do you see it on there?
Let's see. The Sigma 1.4. I'm looking at. Oh, you know what? Hey, we have this thing. It's called NDI. Okay.
There you go.
So DC for APS-C. Remember, when you're looking at Sigma lenses, guys, make sure you're paying attention to whether you're looking at full frame or non-full frame, because that will make a huge difference. So it's $400 for this version, and it's $289 for the 30. And
actually, the cheapest of all the lenses is the 30, guys. If you want to, get a starter lens, the only difference is maybe for a teleprompter, or if you're putting it a little bit further away, it's not going to be like touch it with your hand like I'm touching mine right now. But
and so there's the 56, which I don't need because I have a nifty 50. And
I got a nice Sony 50 Prime full frame.
Dude, where the heck is that? I swear it's an 85, but
I got this bad boy right here too for the camera. And this is the Sony G series 18 to 105. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, the
18 to 105. And this is what I ran before I got my Sigma 16, guys. You just
that is a dope lens. The 18 to 105 is probably it's not really considered a rangefinder, but it's in a good ballpark. Sigma sells that as a 18 to 200, but you got to be careful on those zoom lenses that you are watching that it doesn't have floating aperture. And so what I mean by that, the F will say f3.5-5.6. That's a floating aperture. When it's more expensive, the F won't move. It'll be a stuck F4, period, in the story.
E-mounted. I'm not seeing the. I don't see it on there.
On the very front, look at the glass right in the circle. Yeah. So anyway, it's the 16 to 30 and the 56. That's what it is. That's their Prime Trinity.
This is a 1.48 millimeter. But where is it?
You got the G Master 18 to 105?
18 to 105. But I don't see any identification on here, any marking. Let me see. I've got this lens
It's
cover.
F4.
It's covering.
It's F4, period.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And because it's a G, that's why. So you should know. G Masters won't, not G Masters. G Masters, when the G is orange, those are crazy expensive. If it's the G, that's the middle line. That's Sony's equivalence to the Zeiss. But Sony also sells the Zeiss. Okay, so here's the Sony breakdowns. Standard Sony lens, no marking. Then Sony lens with a G with nothing on it, that's they call it the G range, right? They're good. Then you have the Zeiss, which is the Sony lens with the blue, and then those would be kind of with the G, a little bit better glass. And then you have the G Master, which is the G is covered in the standard Sony Alpha Orange, like this little ring right here. It'll have the G will be orange. It's called Burnt Sunset Sony. Weird. And then you get into the high-end Zeiss, your Otis, your Baddest. Oh, my God. Them joints, 5 Gs for a 35 millimeter.
Yeah,
but
pretty scary.
Gorgeous and heavy. And the 40 millimeter Baddest is what I want for Christmas. It's so dope.
Well, check your stocking. I think we could fit that in there, right?
Right now, 40 millimeter Baddest actually is on sale for about $1,500. Not bad, but yes, it is incredible.
Yeah. I got this piece to be able to do it for video and for photos for events, so that I would have them for my website. So that's what we use. So,
not at all, Pastor Johnson. I never felt the need to, which is funny. But everybody wants to.
So for DJing online, Pastor, it would be MP3. MP4 would be for the video, if you were doing videos.
Yes, 100%.
I'm trying to read this.
100%. I would argue that we have more possibility to entertain in many different ways, and that's why Mixcloud or whoever else pulls the ship together will smash the next decade. 100% true, because what's going to happen is it will allow regular folk to get in and do these things from home. Something that's going to be scary, I don't think a lot of people are ready to hear about either. Something that's going to be scary, I think the pack everybody drunk into a venue thing is going to take a major decline for the next 5 to 10 years. It will be a while before it ramps back up.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Initially, there's going to be a run out to it because I've been locked up, and I got raging hormones, and I need to let these dogs swim. But that will burn out quickly, and people will get sick, and then it'll just go away for a while. Because
I think that we've been heading in that direction anyway, already, Doc. You've seen the club, it used to be in the 70s, the clubs held, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 people. Nowadays a big club is a club that holds maybe 200 people comfortably. You just don't see the big clubs anymore. It's more, the bars and the lounges. I mean, if you go to Vegas, you still have the nice super clubs. That's really what all the clubs were like back in the 70s, the good clubs, maybe even in the early 80s. How many people have been to a big club, one of the major clubs in Vegas? Give us a one in the comments if you have.
You know what? It
wasn't
even
a
fun.
Big major club. Give us a one.
It wasn't fun. I didn't like it.
Who said that?
Me.
You're saying it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I went.
You didn't appreciate the sound and the lighting.
The sound and the lighting and stuff was great.
I mean, I love bodies. That stuff. I like people watching. That's why I became a DJ, to stand in the DJ booth and be able to
that's
peer
why I didn't like it.
and watch everybody. and you got the music, you got the lights, maybe a
Yeah.
beer or two. Life
No,
is
see,
good. That was
in the
awesome.
booth is fine, but standing in the hot box with all of the sweaty, drunk people rolling
Oh,
balls and
but you
touching
got to
you,
be in the
like,
VIP
bro,
area where the DJ is.
like,
See,
yeah, that
I'll
was
never
whack.
forget. I went to when I was in New York. I mean, I've been to the Paradise Garage. I've been to Studio 54 a couple of times. I was at the
Crowbar,
Funhouse,
it's my
and I
favorites.
was actually at the Funhouse in Jelly Bean Benitez's DJ booth. I had never seen such a big DJ booth. It was like a VIP room. I mean, he actually had like a room connected. Now, we move fast forward. If you've been in Chicago, we had oh shit, what was the name of the place? Played there so many times. Now I got to look at like a poster or something. It was Rive Gauche. It was oh man, what was the place called? Oh man, we
That's
played there
funny.
like the last time when they closed. I can't even think of which place it was now. Because it's been a couple of years since they shut the mid. I'm sorry. I can't believe I almost forgot that. But the mid had they had a really cool green room in the building. So if you were with the DJ, you got into the back. There was a green room, but the DJ booth was humongous. And then even beyond the DJ booth, there was like a VIP room right behind the DJ booth for his friends, which was probably created for all the EDM DJs that have these very high priority contracts and stuff with the contract writers that require that they are going to be able to put a lot of friends in there with an open bar. But there were some pretty cool places like that. I mean, if we had a place here called Cinderella Rockefeller, it was in Arlington Heights. It was modeled after Studio 54, first multi-million-dollar sound and lighting system in a nightclub here in Chicago. And it had it was a theater in the round, basically. The DJ booth elevated up in the air, and it was pretty good size. You could put a number of people in there. So we've had some cool places like that. But, the DJ booth's kind of the place to be. Let's not kid ourselves. That's where everybody wants to go and watch the DJ work and see.
Ball of wax.
See what's going on.
Miguel says, where do you guys get your music from? Tidal as good as Spotify? In Mexico, Tidal isn't as known. I think Tidal is better than Spotify. When nobody knows, mathematically.
I'm probably going to be devil's advocate here because that's usually how we work.
Tidal has more music than Spotify by a long shot, mathematically. Spotify has about 30% return rate on really whack bootlegs and redrums that are titled the same so that they show up in the stuff. Spotify also has, let's say, non-music curators adding tracks sometimes. So I have totally gone in and have mislabeled artists. So I get a TLC song, but it's not TLC, it's SWV. Sorry, they're two groups of three black girls, but they're different.
Yep.
They should never have been mislabeled.
No, you're right. There is stuff like that. You will find that on Spotify.
I've had
100%.
Jay-Z tracks mislabeled, but it's Exhibit, not even in the same freaking ballpark. Exhibit, you're cool. Stick to fixing cars. Stay the hell off the radio. But I mean, the level of rubbish that doesn't exist in Spotify. In Tidal, it just doesn't happen. The other thing is, if Tidal doesn't have everything, but they have everything that you need, and the rarities, the really weird stuff, the avant-garde stuff, they're probably not going to have that. Because they come from label position because it's Jay-Z, right? They come from label position, so they went and got everything properly from the labels. You can get the masters. You can get the really clean plays. So if you have a dope listening system, you can definitely hear the quality difference between Spotify and Tidal. You can buy the higher quality.
Yeah, Spotify only gives you like the 3 levels that you can choose from, and if you choose the highest, I mean, is it okay? If you're doing somebody's event, it's okay for a party.
If you're a listener, though, no.
It's not a WAV file by any means, but it's a higher quality. It's okay. So from that standpoint, I would agree. There's better ways to go. But again, I want to answer that question. And if you're talking about like Spotify, and if you're going to be a DJ, which I'm assuming you are, Miguel, and you want to have music, you probably need to be in a record pool where you're getting your music legally. And there are only a few there are a number of pools out there, but a lot of them are illegal. They are basically taking the music and selling it to you illegally, or they're stealing it from other sources and selling it to you and making a profit off of it. The only like real legal pools would only be able to sell you the very latest, newest releases. So if you're in a pool that has any music that's coming from the 80s or the 90s or the 70s, that's an illegal record pool. The record companies do not license their music out that way. So if you go to, say, promo only, that is a fully legal pool. Everything is coming from the record labels. It is a great service. They have many different formats that are available. So you may need to buy more than one disc from them a month, or, the download, let's just say. But you could get, say, the top 40 radio, you could get the R&B radio, you could get the hip hop radio, you could get the club singles, you can get all this stuff, and it will be 100% legal. The quality will be outstanding on it, and everything is on the up and up. That's the way to go. If you're trying to supplement your library, then, maybe there's some services out there that would not be legal that you choose to go to, or you start to build your collection. That could be buying from, iTunes, or buying from a, another source, whatever source that may be. But, that's the reality of it if you want to be in a record pool. And that's how DJs get their music. They go to a record pool. And there are many of them out there. But promo only would be an outstanding choice. That would be the place to go to, and that will be 100% legal if you're a DJ.
Hey, Dana. Long time no see. Yeah, definitely want to be there. I thought he said Denny's, like in the restaurant.
Yeah, D-Ennies. D-Ennies.
That's funny. It's just one of those weird things. It's so crazy, the amount of people that are bending over backwards about like what's going on with the music industry. But I think we're just going to have to start to realize that the industry itself is changing. And if you set yourself up to roll with them changes, you'll be fine. If you want to fight those changes,
I think REO has a song, "Roll with the Changes."
Right. If you want to like keep it the way it was or whatever, you're gonna just lose. And that's every industry, bro. Every industry is changing this year, whether we like it or not. It's all fitting to change. So you gotta.
I think even I agree with you 100%, Doc.
So okay, you're good because you know what, you check all the news articles and you see what's going on, and then you're paying attention to sort of what's happening. I think more so than ever, you got to look at your industry papers, right? No matter what your industry, from insurance to ice sales, you need to follow your industry papers and then see what everyone else is doing. And if everyone else is doing this, you do that.
Do that.
That's it. This is so simple. Warren Buffett is not as rich as
all
he
run
is.
left, run right.
I mean, he's a. I was going to say a bad word. He's a male appendage and a myriad things more, but he's a multi-billionaire male appendage. So if the man says when everyone's running right, run left, then run left. Sorry. The club's closed. And let's go run it on the Facebook and stream. Oh, I got kicked off the stream. I got muted, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because you weren't supposed to be there.
Let me go a step further with that for you guys that are DJs out there. You're probably looking at every DJ's website, getting every DJ's information. How much does that DJ charge? That's what I got to do, or whatever. I got to be $100 less than. It's not going to work for you. That is the path to the bottom as quickly as possible.
That is so true. Path to the bottom is one of my favorite statements.
Be different, stand out.
Yes.
I think that, we all got into the streaming game when the pandemic started. Doc, you've been around a lot longer than I have at this, but I will tell you that I think this is here to stay. We saw a lot of people wanting to stream their wedding ceremony, things of that nature. I think that trend will continue.
That's where the money
I think
is.
Streaming is where there is some potential growth and ways to get bookings as we move forward when things will start to open up or whatever. But things are definitely going to be different, guys. The way we do things. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I will probably have clients. I used to have people come to my office, my studio, Where you see me broadcasting from right now is my desk. The clients used to sit on the other side of the desk. Okay. I don't think I'll be doing that anymore. I think, everything is going to be virtual. I will be doing this kind of a meeting and I will be talking to you where I'm seeing my client, Zoom, whatever you want to call it, or eCam, with an interview. But this is how we're going to show people. This is going to be the way we do sales. I think a lot of this stuff is not going to change. I think we have started a trend here, and I think it will only get better as the software and the technology improves, which if you've been on eCam, I mean, I've been on eCam now for what, Doc, 6-7 months, longer, maybe 8 months.
And let's see, May, April.
The improvements,
April, so
the improvements. I mean, it's mind blowing what they are doing, and like to see the new beta that they just released yesterday with some of the new features. Like, this is only going to get better, folks, and you need to be staying up on it because. If we jumped in 8 months ago and we saw everything develop, like now it's starting to get complex. Like if you don't stay up with every update and what they're doing, you're going to fall behind. And it's the same with any of the software. I don't care if it's Adobe Audition, if it's Pro Tools, if it's Ableton. If you're not staying up on this stuff, it's going to be very hard to jump into that game. Even the improvements that have been made, if you guys are Serato users for years and years and years, every update, like there's so many things changing, and the buttons on the Pioneer controller are getting better and more complex, and the things that you can do, you got to pick what's going to work for you, stick with it, learn it, and be ready to adjust if you need to change to another format quickly.
So it's 100% true. And the funny thing is, like, all of the modern way of gigs is going to be small private parties. And that's what I mean. There's nothing wrong with all the big gigantic nightclubs closing. If you think of it that way, yeah, you may be going to cry. But say $150, $200, $300 set somewhere at a nightclub, and then you might do 3 or 4 of those a night. But imagine the ability
to finding 3 or 4 of those clubs a night in one market, I'll tell you.
yeah. So, but imagine the ability to do that on a Saturday and a Sunday and never have to look for parking and stay exactly where you at, and then do this for private parties. And then, oh, by the way, you got 8 more of those during the week because you got corporate gigs. And like,
that's
you can do it
thinking.
Now. We're coming to a different spot, and there's no need to just worry about that. I got a dude who his gym closed, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be out of about $5,000 a month because my gym's closed and nobody can come to my gym and blah blah blah." And so I sat him up. I said, "You can go to your gym. Nobody else can come, correct?" "Yeah, cool. You got a camera. I know because you just went on your trip." "Yeah, cool. Tripod, camera, MacBook, switcher, iPhone to change scenes, and we're going to do your gym."
Yeah.
He has increased because how many people can come to who can come to the gym in Hawaii? People that live in Hawaii. But who can come to his class when it's online? People that live in the world.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Dude is hosting 300 people classes. His gym don't hold but 20 people. But he's hosting 300 people classes now because he got out of his own freaking way and stopped crying about what it used to be like. Yesterday is gone. You can memory it. You can love it. But yesterday is gone. Period. The Raiders are not the Raiders I grew up with. Okay, it's going to be a minute before we get a Super Bowl trophy. Okay, but I'm still a fan. But it's not. Ken Stabler and the boys just ranking up Super Bowls. It's gone. Forget about it. You know what I mean? The Jets are not the dope team from the East Coast. Jets what? Who even knows? They haven't won a game since who knows when. Like, y'all got to get off of this history crap. Like, history has not worked for us thus far. So get off of it. It's okay to look at it and be like, that was dope, but you got to get off of it. You know, just like Tommy, Sheffield United is maybe one of the earliest teams in England, but they suck now. We're in third place. Take that, Tommy. Actually, take it back. We're in second place now. Anyway, take that, Tommy. Anyway, the point is that you got to get over the whole like way it used to be. We want a different thing. So you model your business to what's going forward, or you quit. Konnichiwa, anytime, Ohio.
Translation, please.
I forgot that. No, that's between me and her.
Translation,
anyway,
please.
and Emmy's my business partner in Japan. I tell her the same thing. Like, the way it used to be is not fitting to happen. You got to make something new. And so she's rolling out brand new product because you got to. It is what it is. Like,
Right.
these happened already back in the day. Like, none of us use the phone like this anymore. But when Scott and I were kids, you stuck your finger here and you went vroom.
That is true.
Whoever invented 911
didn't it suck when you got 6 numbers through and you didn't get over all the way and you had to start over?
You got to start over. And whoever invented 911 back in the day was an a-hole because so you went 9. 1. That was dumb. It should have just been 111. You know what I'm saying? And I guess because British phones are backwards. I guess because British phones are backwards, theirs was 999. Boom, ambulance come quick. Why we changed it to 911? I don't know. In Japan, QQQ 999. Like everybody,
you had to make the one curve, and then you could, if you're having the heart attack, hopefully it was the beginning. You made the 9, and then you just do this.
See, you know what I'm saying? And they still haven't figured out. We still have 911. It should have been changed a long time ago to 999, like UK, like Japan, like most of the world, because it's much easier to go tak tak tak. But we always got to be different because we're
that's
the US.
What it is on the highways here. If you're on the highways here, the emergency is like star 999.
Yeah, because actually an ambulance driver in Japanese is called the QQ shop because you drive and then a place to go buy cheap stuff, the dollar store, is called the QQ shop. So,
really?
So
I learned something new.
Yeah, QQQ. You got to call QQQ 999. Anyway, gang, I got to get to work. I have so much customer stuff to do. I want to thank you guys for this first couple of months of doing the show. It's been awesome. Scott is a blast to come on every week. And we always get to do our lovely point counterpoints, but it's been so fun.
Do.
And
I usually come out with 2 black eyes after we finish, but that's the way it works here.
And it's, it
doesn't matter which angle I take. I'm going to be on the losing side. I feel like I'm Herb Kent trying to win a Dusty's battle with you. It's just never going to happen.
No, it's important. It's up, Gil. Good to see you here. It's important that people just know that at the end of the day, bro, all of this stuff, you're in your own control. You're in your own destiny. So you got to just knuckle up and figure out how to make it work for you and don't sweat everything else because even all of what we're doing right now on YouTube, it's going to be taken away tomorrow. So you got to get in while you can. Who knows what they decide to do? It's their money. You're on borrowed land. All of us in Hawaii, we could all get sent home tomorrow.
Well, look, guys, Periscope's going away. Okay, we didn't even talk about that. Periscope, March 1st. Bye-bye. So no more video coming with Twitter unless
you're always on borrowed land.
Change things up. So we've lost 2 majors, right? We lost Mix this year, and we've lost Periscope. So, handwriting's on the wall, folks.
Miguel, Feliz Navidad.
Yes, 100%.
And then Emmy-chan, Merry Christmas. Yes.
There you go.
And then Dr. Elo,
yesterday
is gone. Yesterday is gone. That's a song, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yesterday is gone. I roll with the changes. Dr. Elo would be Dr. Ario.
no, he's Dr. Elo. But we do
Diana says Dr. Ario
because it reminds me of Electric Light Orchestra, Xanadu.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Hold on, let's do some.
Yes. Here. Absolutely. Put that funky little beat back on that you think I'm going to do a mix show with, Doc.
Oh, I got so many good ones, dude. You don't even know. This one is, I call it Trapmas.
Trapmas?
Yeah, this is my Trapmas music. You won't know right now. It's gonna get trappy with it
Yeah.
for a second. Anyway, I hope you guys got all of what you really wanted. I'm hoping that I got my new Apple AirPod Maxes for Christmas. We'll find out if I get disappointed.
What are you hoping? What do you want? The headphones?
Yeah, I didn't want them at first, but
$550
$550 is nothing for headphones. You know that.
Well, not for you. You're a big roller. I know,
No,
but
just in general, like audiophile headphones cost way more than that. I have a pair of $3,000.
I don't think I've ever owned a pair of audiophile. I've never had a pair of noise canceling headphones. So.
Oh yeah, that's why you don't know that. That's no.
I got to go check them. I'll have to go check them out. Could be intriguing.
The original Bose noise canceling headphones were 600 bones, and nobody cared.
Yeah, they were.
And then Apple does it. It's like, oh my God, they're trying to kill me.
Oh my God. Right.
Anyway.
Well, how much are Beats? Beats, a regular pair of headphones, like $300, $400, right?
It's in there. It's in there.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
I can't even say that. I can't even say that. No, that looks like Welsh. I can't say that. Merry Christmas, everybody. I seen Bahamadia. Wait, what?
Bahama Mama.
Martha. Happy New Year. Okay, I'm gonna go look that one. I'm gonna look that one up because I know he's in Scotland. Shut up, June.
What up, June?
He's such a
Take care, Robert. All right, guys.
And,
on behalf of me,
hey, good
Scott
to see you, Rocky.
Silz, and my man Sean Doc Rock Boyd from Honolulu, Hawaii.
I will see you guys on Saturday.
Okay. Yep.
Peace out.
We'll see you.